I'm talking about here is fake negotiations. Means in most of the cases seller won't display the price of the product. So what happens is the buyer keeps messaging. There are a lot of fake requests from the buyer's perspective, and the negotiations are way beyond the seller's expectation. So in that case, if we can have a price range, means like whenever the seller is uploading the product, he should able to mention the price, at least the minimum and maximum amount what he is ready to accept, and accordingly buyers can accept the request or they can start the negotiation. Now like in most of the scenarios, the sellers are not displaying the price. Either they put it as 1 rupee or some random number, so that they can complete the product listing.
So
So
again,
here I'm coming from, yeah.
so that is what I'm trying to say. So instead of okay, the pain point that you are talking about is fine, that you want the fake negotiations to not happen, but the problem is that the main problem that actually is underlying is that seller is not putting a price. So why is the seller not putting the price? Your problem is not fake negotiations, or that is happening because at the core of at the core of it, when a seller is listing, either they don't know the price, or they don't want to put a price, or they are clueless of how to go about it, or there's some UI problem in which some price is getting taken by default instead of actually asking the seller to input it by themselves. So okay, you are saying that it is fake negotiations all are happening, but as a PM you have to first understand why is this problem coming. The problem is not because the buyers are messaging them for negotiation. The problem is because at a product level you don't have the right incentives given to the seller to list the price. Why is the seller putting 1 rupee price, right? That is not the right way to go about a marketplace. You cannot be solving for negotiation problems when you are not even allowing the seller to input a specific price range. So you are helping the seller find the price and put the price. You're not solving for fake negotiations. So you have to be very clear on what you are solving for in the first place.
Okay.
You might
Okay.
discover a problem that this is happening, but it is your job as a product manager to go down the lane and figure out what is the exact problem you have to solve for. Because if the problem is fake negotiations, there can be multiple other solutions to it. So the solution that you're coming up depends from the problem that you're trying to solve for.
I did mention the assumption that here one assumption I'm taking is sellers are willing to enter the required details of the product. So I'm not asking them to enter the exact number, exact price of the product. Instead, I'm asking them to choose a range.
That is fine. That is not that is not the problem. The problem is that they are not inputting it when the listing is live. Either a
Yes.
range or a fixed price, whatever it is.
Okay. Your point is, even if we introduce the range, there might be cases that the seller is not inputting the value still.
Or maybe they are just putting random values, like they are doing currently.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I understood.
And for on the business side, again, like
On the business side, as you mentioned, this is a requirement related to payments. Even my thing is to introduce payment gateway via Facebook.
yeah. And in terms of the prioritization framework, again, I think you've used the RISE framework, so that is fine.
Yes. So Twisha, here I took 3 uses. One is buyer, seller, and Facebook. So I took impact as a goal of the company. For example, if the firm's goal for one particular quarter is to increase the revenue, then my revenue related requires impact has more weightage compared to other goals.
That is fine. Impact is something that you have to
Yes.
call for yourself. So it's not.
Yeah. So my assumption here is I consider buyer's acquisition or engagement is Facebook's business objective at this point,
Okay.
followed by seller's acquisition, and the later stage comes the later one is revenue generation.
Got it. So yeah, last point, same as I have told everybody, try to have a success metric basis which are you going to measure these objectives that you have put in.
Okay.
Okay.
Success matrix, are we supposed to mention on the prioritization roadmap or in the requirement? So that part I'm not clear. Actually, I missed out the previous session.
No, you have to, like, if you're solving this problem in an interview, you always have to talk about how are you going to measure the success.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
Now I would.
At solution level, I did mention the matrix which I want to track, but on the prioritization table on the RISE framework, I didn't mention.
Hmm.
So are we supposed to mention on the framework as well?
No, not on the framework, post framework, when you're listing your top 3 features or top 5 features that you have selected.
Achha, okay. Okay,
Okay.
got it.
So Kashish, Stuti and Rashpreet, if you have any questions, let's first take that.
This is Shivangi here. I submitted the assignment with Kashish.
Yeah.
I just want to ask that, like, all of us had a common problem with the success metrics. Can you just elaborate on that and give us an example, like just taking one of our assignments, and how would you be defining the success metrics?
Right. So if I were in your place and if I had to define the success metric for this problem statement, again, I would have two user segments, buyers and sellers. And let's say my goal is to basically optimize for engagement in the marketplace. So what I want is that more when I say I want engagement in the marketplace, I want more people to comment, I want more people to come to the marketplace, right? So in that case, I could either list down my pain points into 4 buckets, like I'm solving for discovery problems. Maybe people are unable to find the marketplace in itself. The second might
Right.
I am solving for a match problem. Basically, people are I'll just share my screen. I mean, I have a very rough presentation, but it will help you guys to understand the thought process. So I might be solving for discovery, match, or maybe I am as a user know what marketplace is and I've already bought some items, but I faced quality issues, or I don't know if the issues have a certain quality or not. I might be having issues with payments or refunds or returns. So you can bucket your solutions into any of the buckets that you're solving for. And in terms of success metrics, what I would do is, if my goal is to get engagement on the seller side, I would measure success on number of photos posted or listings per seller. Let's say I have made some UI improvement, or I have added this adding price or whatever. Does it lead to more sellers coming on my platform and posting ads? And does it improve the number of listings per seller? On the buyer side, do I see a higher number of people visiting my marketplace? Like, do I see an increase in the daily active users or the monthly active users or not? I could have also, on the buyer side, this is very basic, like daily active users, weekly active users. I could have also gone down and started measuring success metric on the level of, is it leading to more views per listing, or is it leading to more clicks, or at least people adding it to their carts? Because if I'm trying to increase engagement, I have, or you could have also written very raw terms, like maybe I have introduced a feature wherein I want I'm solving for fraud or quality problem. So I input a feature wherein I want more users to upload the pictures of the products that they receive. So have I started seeing an increase in those comments, those postings? So you can be very granular or you can be very high level, but you need to have some way to measure success of each feature you are introducing. Did that help?
Right.
Yes, yes, it
So,
did.
Tusha, can we include KPIs for each features? Like, as you said, that we can be very specific to granular levels.
Yes.
Can we include metrics for each feature?
Ideally, you can, but what happens is some features are in a bunch. So one metric or one KPI can solve for 5 or 6 features. Like all those features are getting you to that goal in itself. But you try to be as granular as possible. It helps. It helps in structuring your thought process, basically. Any other questions, guys?
Twisha, Switi here. So I had